ሲያከብርሽ አንዱ ያፈርስሻል አንዱ ሲያሳድግሽ አንዱ ይዘርፍሻል አንዱ ሲሞትልሽ ደግሞ አንዱ ይሾምብሻል ምንድነው ነገሩ ዘር ያልበቀለብሽ ምንድነው ነገሩ ዘር ያልበቀለብሽ አንቺ ደሃ ሀገሬ ኢትዮጵያ ዛሬ ማን ያስብሽ አንቺ ደሃ ሀገሬ እናቴን እስኪ ማን ያስታውስሽ እስኪ ከራሴ ልጀምር ወቀሳ ምን ሰራሁ ለሀገሬ ልጠይቅ ልነሳ እስኪ ሁላችን ያብከንክን ቆጨን ረሃብ ስደት ሌላ ታሪክ አቆየን ገና ሀገር ማለት ትርጉሙ አልገባንም የባንዲራ ኩራት ብሎ አልተረዳንም እንደ ታሪካችን እንደ ጥንት ቀደምቱ ለአንድነት እንጣር ወገኖቼ በርቱ እዚህ ያለሽ አልለማሽም እዚህ ያለሽ አልተጦርሽም ውለታሽስ ይኸው ነው ወይ አገሬ ሰው አጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ ሀሳብ ያጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ ልጅ አጣሽ አገሬ ሰው አጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ ሀሳብ ያጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ ልጅ አጣሽ አንደኛው ሲከብሽ አንዱ ያፈርስሻል አንዱ ሲያሳድግሽ አንዱ ይዘርፍሻል አንዱ ሲሞትልሽ ደግሞ አንዱ ይሾምብሻል ምንድነው ነገሩ ዘር ያልበቀለብሽ ምንድነው ነገሩ ዘር ያልበቀለብሽ አንቺ ደሃ ሀገሬ ኢትዮጵያ ዛሬ ማን ያስብሽ አንቺ ደሃ ሀገሬ እናቴን እስኪ ማን ያስታውስሽ እስኪ ከራሴ ልጀምር ወቀሳ ምን ሰራሁ ለሀገሬ ልጠይቅ ልነሳ እስኪ ሁላችን ያብከንክን ቆጨን ረሃብ ስደት ሌላ ታሪክ አቆየን አላከበርንሽም ወልደሻል ተጦርሽም ወንዝ አለሽ ሀብታም ነሽ አላለማንሽም አጥፊ ልጆችሽ ነን ይቅር በይ ሰብስቢ ኢትዮጵያ እናታችን ማሪን አትርገሚ እዚህ ያለሽ አልለማሽም እዚህ ያለሽ አልተጦርሽም ውለታሽስ ይኸው ነው ወይ አገሬ ሰው አጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ ሀሳብ ያጣሽ ሆይ አገሬ
Ethiopians appealing to the international community. July 24, 2021. Your Excellency, Mr. Joe Biden, the President of the United States of America, and Vice President Kamala Harris. Your Excellency, Mr. Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Secretariat General, New York. Honorable members of Congressmen and women, and Senators of United States of America. The United Nations Human Rights Higher Commissioner, Geneva. The Amnesty International, Human Rights Center London, and Geneva. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, Geneva. All the member states of the United Nations, New York. Urgent appeal and seeking the international community and human rights defenders' support regarding the deteriorating and dire situation in Tigray and Amhara regions in Ethiopia. We, the undersigned members of the Ethiopian American community and friends of Ethiopia living in different states of America and beyond, came together under the umbrella of Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, ESSA, submitting this letter to international communities to express our great concern. The international community and human rights defenders betrayed Ethiopia, mainly the International Convention on the Suppression and Punishment of the Crime of Apartheid 1973, all that happened in South Africa and Rwanda, while happening in Ethiopia right now. Crimes against humanity on Amhara University's students, girls, and boys' abduction, all human rights violations, ongoing ethnic-based violence, slaughtering civilians, elders and children killings, throwing students from towers, burning of Orthodox churches, wanton mass killings, imprisonments, mass murdering, mass displacement in Oromia, Benshangul, and southern regions because of gross negligence of United Nations. The war crime committed in the Tigray region should have been avoidable if United Nations timely intervened to stop genocide, crimes against humanity, internal displacement of the population significantly in Amhara and Tigray region in Ethiopia. Also, the so-called Ethiopian government left Mekelle and our Tigrayan civilians, including all Ethiopian civilians, the federal employees, university and college students irresponsibly left unprotected civilians without any security in the hands of TPLF rebels. Furthermore, the so-called Ethiopian government is responsible for Ethiopian people lives lost for withdrawing the Ethiopian People's Security Force from its land like a foreign country, instead of making possible solutions for Ethiopia's internal and domestic conflict. In Tigray, women and girls gang raped. Well-documented genocide committed on Amhara people. At least 600 innocent citizens were killed in one day in Maikadra, 250 in one day in Welega, more than 100 were killed in Benshangul, and these are few examples of the Amhara genocide. Many people were displaced from Tigray, Welega, Gedo, Gora-Furda, Atay, Karakore, South Wello, and killings by armed forces and government-sponsored killings of civilians are everyday events in Ethiopia. Subject: remove Ethiopia's current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution and replace it with the new democracy for a permanent and sustainable solution for Ethiopia through national dialogue to make a national referendum for a new constitution. Our grave concern is our country Ethiopia is going to face dangerous avoidable war in this world. The Ethiopian people know the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's game playing in his hidden sabotage agenda by manipulating the Ethiopian people to build his Oromia nation on Ethiopian ashes. The Ethiopian people recently observed Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's apparent plan to tear apart Ethiopia, an ancient and the world's historic country. That will never happen, almost impossible, because millions of Ethiopians will rise and fight to the death for their country, for beloved Ethiopia. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is working hard to create his ethnic Oromo nation by the demise of Ethiopia, including the Ethiopian historic capital city of Addis Ababa to make the capital city of Oromia. Furthermore, the greatest ambition of Prime Minister Abiy and his top advisors, the Oromo Liberation Front, is quickly running to take advantage swiftly to implement the TPLF, OLF, factions illegally introduced the 1995 fraudulent pseudo-constitution to fragment Ethiopia after using a fake and ludicrous 2021 election commencement. The TPLF, OLF, factions intentionally and illegally design is breaching the international resolution to threaten the world's historic and ancient country and dismantle its unity, integrity, and sovereignty. We, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association experts worldwide, tried to report to United Nations and all international communities our serious grave concern about finding out the fundamental root cause of Ethiopian people's genocide, crime against humanity, and wedging into tribal war were from the outcome of fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution of Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association experts are committed to describing our serious problem based on TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front manipulation of self-determination. Background. In 1960, the UN approved the Declaration of the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples, General Assembly Resolution 1514-15, Self-Determination in the United Nations, and these definitional problems were revisited, but not resolved. In 1970, when the UN General Assembly passed the Declaration on Principles of International Law concerning relations and cooperation among the Tigray People's Liberation Front has attempted to loot Ethiopia. The ambiguity within the various United Nations resolutions concerning the rights of people to govern themselves demonstrates that a working definition of self and people is central to any discussion regarding self-determination. Although the United Nations has Resolution 2625, like Resolution 1514, to specify who benefits from the right to self-determination. Definition: legal scholars have concluded that the UN resolutions described above grant self-determination rights to two groups of people. 1. Colonial peoples, and 2. Peoples subjected to foreign domination. That is why Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed used the Eritrean force in Tigray to kill civilians to open the door of cessation before his hidden agenda for Oromia proclamation. Evidence that the UN grants self-determination rights to colonial peoples come from, among other sources, the title of UN Resolution 1514, which explicitly refers to colonial countries and peoples. Evidence for support of the second group, though less obvious than that for colonized peoples, also comes directly from the text of UN Resolution 1514. Resolution 1514 expanded the right of self-determination beyond the classical colonial setting to include struggles against alien subjugation, domination, and exploitation from within. The TPLF and its political sibling, the Oromo Liberation Front, have perpetrated a grand fraud on the Ethiopian and international communities. As the preceding analysis shows, circumstantial evidence of the TPLF's and Oromo Liberation Front through Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's deep cover agenda abounds. The TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front have established a facade of democracy to garner internal support and international aid. Since 1991, the Tigray-dominated central government has systematically undermined that democracy and diverted Ethiopia's resources to Tigray. In addition, the TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front have created a fraudulent pseudo-constitution that gives Tigray and Oromia the unconditional right to secede from Ethiopia based on the self-determination principle. In pursuit of a greater Tigray and greater Oromia, TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front have expanded their borders, including the demise of Addis Ababa to Oromia, the historical city of Ethiopia. However, we, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, summarize our broad appeal to the United Nations, the United States of America, and international communities. Furthermore, people who oppose Tigray cessation from their historical country of Ethiopia, for example, Kinfi Gebremedin, the person in charge of internal security in the government, and General Sar Mekonnen, were assassinated. In addition, 18 people, including 2 of the 12 officials expelled from the TPLF, and the others arrested, tortured. However, Prime Minister Meles Zenawi, and the other TPLF members remaining in Ethiopia's central government have given up on ever asserting Tigray's independence following Ethiopia's failure until they gain access to the Red Sea. Regarding these serious crimes of TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front perpetrators' hidden agenda of cessation, we, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, have presented to United Nations, the United States of America, and international communities. Now, we are asking questions about the legal significance of a constitutional right of TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front secession. Must the international community respect such a right when it's based on deception and international fraud? What duty do the United Nations and Ethiopia's most vital, oldest, and longest ally, the United States of America, have to intervene when a dominant minority, 5% of the Ethiopian population, uses the concept of self-determination to oppress other minorities? Also, the United States made the greatest mistake in 1991, while handing the power to TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front rebels after demolishing the Ethiopian permanent government without making a national referendum for a new constitution. In 1946, why the United States of America need to write a new constitution by General MacArthur's staff and promulgated on November 3, 1946, after demolishing Japan's permanent government. Also, the USA spent more than $2 billion implementing Japan's 1947 constitution that exists now. What is wrong with Ethiopia? The 1947 Constitution of Japan, promulgated by General MacArthur's staff, put Japan one of the world's largest and most developed economies. Small Japan that has 3 times less than Ethiopian land, because of the 1947 Constitution, is one of the developed countries with more than 127 million populations. Also, Japan has a well-educated, dynamic workforce. Additionally, Japan has a large, affluent population, makes it one of the world's biggest consumer markets because of the 1947 Constitution given by General MacArthur and implemented very well by the American government sponsorship because America demolished Japan's permanent government and built back Japan's nation providing well-implemented democracy. Therefore, the USA has no guilty regarding Japan. However, the United States of America remains the most significant guilty after demolishing the Ethiopian government in 1991. The United States of America remains guilty because U.S. handed over Ethiopian people and their country to historic enemies factions TPLF, EPLF, and Oromo Liberation Front without national referendum for a new constitution in 1991. Also, it is a great pleasure to witness what the United States of America has helped Ethiopians to transfer technology and knowledge in building century-old institutions that became the pride of Ethiopia. To name a few, are Ethiopian Airlines, the Ethiopian Telecommunication, the Ethiopian Air Force, the Ethiopian Marine, Ethiopian Roads Authority, Holita Genet Military Academy, agricultural development projects such as ARDU, WADU and KADU, educational institutions like Addis Ababa University, Almaya College of Agriculture and Mechanical Arts, agricultural technical schools, Ambo and Jimma, now all are universities. The United States of America will benefit from a strong Ethiopia if they build democracy through a national referendum for a new constitution 10 times better than helping the Ethiopian historic terrorist groups destroy Ethiopia. It is a recorded history that Ethiopia has paid its due with courage and bravery on its alliance with the United States of America, to name a few: alliance in war with South Korea, Democratic Congo, Somalia, and on all places where Ethiopia participated in the fight against terrorism, etc. Therefore, we, the Ethiopian people, asking a straightforward question: why the United States of America betrayed Ethiopia after straight 70 years development and eye-opening? How come the United States of America throw away American and Ethiopian 1903, 1904 Treaty of Commerce and Development of Ethiopia Treaty signed at Addis Ababa December 27, 1903, Senate advise and consent to ratification March 12, 1904, ratified by the President of the United States on March 17, 1904, and became effective from March 17, 1904, after ratification notified to the King of Ethiopia August 2, 1904, that proclaimed by the President of the United States September 30, 1904. That was a great history of two countries, and His Majesty Menelik II, King of Kings of Ethiopia, and the United States of America, has agreed to regulate the commercial relations between the two countries and develop them, and render them more and more advantageous to the two contracting powers. His Majesty Menelik II, King of Kings of Ethiopia, and Robert P. Skinner, in the name of the United States of America, have agreed. One of 7 articles. Article 1 says, the citizens of the two powers, like the citizens of other countries, shall be able freely to travel and to transact business throughout the extent of the territories of the two contracting powers. while respecting the usages and submitting themselves to the tribunals of the countries in which they may locate. By 1914, the United States of America, desirous of emphasizing the friendly relations which have long prevailed between their peoples, and encouraging mutually beneficial investments and closer economic intercourse generally between their peoples, signed a treaty with Ethiopia. The Amity and Economic Relations Agreement Treaty, signed in Addis Ababa by the uncrowned Emperor of Ethiopia, Prince Lige Yasu, and John Q. Wood, U.S. diplomat at the time, on behalf of President Woodrow Wilson, allowed for free movements of citizens and goods between both countries. Also, it is a fantastic announcement to the people of the United States of America for the arrival of the first Abyssinian diplomatic delegation to the U.S. on July 11, 1919, when Woodrow Wilson was serving as the 28th President of the United States. In Ethiopia, Empress Zaudita was the eldest daughter of Emperor Menelik. The primary purpose of their trip was to renew the 1904 Treaty of Amity, Friendship, between the United States and Ethiopia to renew a commercial treaty with Emperor Menelik. Furthermore, the Treaty of the United States of America and Ethiopia's military assistance from 1953 to 1974 was a reappraisal of a complex patrol-client relationship. Also, King Haile Selassie was considered one of the United States' closest allies of America in Africa. However, Ethiopia's break with the United States of America and realignment with the Soviet Union in 1977. We, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, report that the Ethiopian people never want to go back to Russia or China. On the contrary, the Ethiopian people always like to rebuild our relationship as our brilliant fathers built our heritage with the United States of America. Additionally, we would like to remind our friendly and sincere treaties with the United States of America in 1955, 1959, 1963, 1967, and 1973. Nevertheless, the United States of America chosen to ignore these and other questions and betrayed Ethiopia and its people under brutal Ethiopian enemies without a constitution. Perhaps the United States of America is too concerned with preserving Ethiopia as an ally in the war on terror to question the legitimacy of Ethiopia's democracy. By blindly aiding the TPLF, the United States risks creating a populous Ethiopia with the anti-American sentiment. The secession of Tigray would only provoke more anger and ultimately create the potential for more terror directed at American interests. The world cannot afford to ignore the hidden agenda of the TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front hidden agenda deep covering through Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's sabotage manipulation any longer. Therefore, we, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, seeking an urgent appeal for UN intervention to your influence to stop and prevent genocide, crimes against humanity, internal displacement against the Ethiopian population especially, in Amhara and Tigray, including in many parts of the country because of TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front conflict. The Ethiopian situation is deteriorating, a dire situation, becoming progressive, and anticipating to elevate into severe humanitarian crises. Before this happens, we need the international community to take urgent action to save the Ethiopian people from TPLF and Oromo Liberation Front, the brutal rebels who control Ethiopia, shifting their power to each other for 30 years slaveries without a legitimate constitution. Additionally, the 2021 election not served the Ethiopians' people interest because this election has failed all pivotal requirements of standards of the election process. Peace, security, and stability is the most important one. Some regions like Tigray, Somali, Harar, most Benshangul, some Oromia regions do not have elections. In most places, people have no option because the sitting government is the only one to cast their vote, and they have no choice. The government officially nominated and assigned to different power individuals before the election board announced the election result. The government started to arrest, kill, hunt strong opposition party members, continued hiding what is happening against humanity in Ethiopia. We, the Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, would like to express to the United Nations, and our ally including international communities, about the fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution of Ethiopia's secret cessation plan and why the Ethiopian people are fighting and losing their lives without United Nations help. The Ethiopian people refuse to accept, give consent, and ratify for 30 years on Ethiopia's current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution. We Ethiopians are exhausting because we lost the most prominent educators and doctors' lives fighting to change Ethiopia's current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution. Currently, thousands of political prisoners in jail oppose Ethiopia's current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution, including Eskinder Nega. What are 5 great dangerous articles in the current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution of Ethiopia? 1. The preamble says we the nations, nationalities, and people of Ethiopia. 2. Article 3 states the national emblem on the flag shall reflect the hope of the nations, nationalities, peoples. The emblem came directly from fascist Italian in 1935, used on their fictitious tricolor flag on the green side, if the Italians succeed in colonizing Ethiopia. 3. Article 8 states all sovereign power resides in the nations, nationalities, and peoples of Ethiopia. Additionally, Article 8 number 2 says this constitution is an expression of their sovereignty. Here, the word there means denoting a member state, but not a regional state. For Article 39, number 1 says, every nation, nationality, and people in Ethiopia has an unconditional right to self-determination, including secession. Additionally, Article 39 number 4 says the right to self-determination, including secession, of every nation, nationality, and people. 5. Article 47, the most dangerous one, lists 10 member states of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, and sub-article number 2 says nations, nationalities, and peoples within the states enumerated in sub-article 1 of this article have the right to establish, at any time, their own states. What is a member state? A member state is a state that is a member of an international organization or confederation. For example, A. The UK is a member state of the EU. However, the United Kingdom, which had acceded in 1973, ceased to be an EU member state on January 31, 2020. B. The United States of America is a member state of the United Nations. What is the permanent core solution for Ethiopia? Remove Ethiopia's current fraudulent 1995 transitional pseudo-constitution and replace it with a new constitution through national referendum. Our achievement plan. 1. Call Ethiopians for national dialogue all-inclusive to discuss the new proposed constitution draft on hand already written by concerned Ethiopians. 2. Immediately to hold a specific day to make a national referendum for a new constitution vote and commencement. Our objective goal. 1. According to a new constitution of Ethiopia, all independent institutions commissioners, including federal court judges and constitutional court judges, will take their places. 2. The Ethiopian Defense Ministry and Ministry of Information will become part of an independent institution as soon as the national referendum for a new constitution commencement has been done. 3. Police training equally for all 14 provinces. 4. From all 14 provinces, equally pledged national police training completion. 5. Start presidential campaign in 14 provinces based on one person one vote principle, and elect a president through free and fair election. Implementation. 1. We, the Ethiopian people vigorously seeking the USA, our longest and oldest ally of Ethiopia, all UN member states, and all international communities to save millions of Ethiopians' lives by helping the Ethiopian people to exercise their international right to make their national referendum for a new constitution for a permanent and everlasting solution. Therefore, we are begging the international communities and our allies in the name of Almighty God to achieve our plan, goal, and implementation program successfully to save our people urgently. 2. We are seeking the United States of America, all UN member states, and all international communities to pledge for implementation, including democratization fund and logistics assistance for police training, all complementary assistance to secure the new Ethiopian democracy to stand on its feet with your robust implementation. Subsequently, the next presidential election in Ethiopia with the USA, and all other allies, including all international communities' cooperation, can make the free and fair presidential election after Ethiopia's resurrection holding a sustainable solution. May God bless Ethiopia and the United States of America, our alliance, and all international communities for furthering peace, unity, kindness, sharing, and truth which are honorable. Yours respectfully. Ethiopian Survival and Salvation Association, ESSA, Committee. Mekonnen Doyemo, Chairperson of ESSA. Tefera Demis, Vice Chairperson of ESSA. Dr. Negash Amsalu, Secretary of ESSA. Argash Gevret Sadik, Lawyer. Engineer Mesfin Yilma, Community Organizer. Aster Jesses, Community Organizer. Baruch Ibas, Media Director. Contact 61270228899. Email doyemo1@gmail.com. CC. Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. The Congressional Hearing on Conflict in Ethiopia Committee. Honorable Representative Gregory Meeks, Chairperson of Foreign Affairs Committee. Honorable Representative Michael McCall, Ranking Member, Foreign Affairs Committee. Honorable Chris Smith, U.S. Congressman and distinguished members of House Foreign Relations Committee. Honorable Representative Karen Bass, California, Ranking Member of African Affairs, Global Health, Global Human Right. Honorable Representative Chris Smith, Ranking Member. Honorable Representative Scott Perry, Pennsylvania. Honorable Representative Darrell Issa, California. Honorable Representative David Cicilline, Rhode Island. Honorable Representative Adam Daniel Kinzinger, Illinois. Honorable Representative Dina Titus, Nevada. Honorable Representative Tim Burchett, Tennessee. Honorable Representative Susan Wild, Pennsylvania. Honorable Representative Gregory Stube, Pennsylvania. Honorable Representative Dean Phillip, Minnesota. Honorable Representative August Pfluger, Texas, Ranking Member Subcommittee Europe, Energy and Environment. Honorable Representative Andy Levin, Michigan, Asia-Pacific Relations. Honorable Representative Joaquin Castro, Texas, International Development, International Organization and Global Social Impact Subcommittee. Honorable Ronnie Jackson, Global Health and Human Rights Committee. Honorable Representative Ilan Omar, Minnesota, Vice Chair, African Affairs, Global Health and Global Human Right. Honorable Representative Young Kim, Asia-Pacific Non-Proliferation. Honorable Representative Tom Malinowski, New Jersey. Honorable Representative Andy Kim, New Jersey. Honorable Representative Sarah Jacobs, California, Vice Chair, International Development. Honorable Representative Juan Vargas, California, Vice Chair of International Western Hemisphere, Civilian Security, Migration and Economic Policy. U.S. Senate. Honorable Senator Menendez, Chairman. Honorable Senator Rich, Ranking Member. Honorable Senator Kaito Trend. Honorable Ambassador Robert Goduk, Acting Assistant Secretary for Bureau of African Affairs for U.S. Department of State. Honorable Ms. Sarah Charles, USAID's Assistant to Administrator for the Bureau of Humanitarian Affairs.